Jim Rohn, one of the great thinkers of personal development, always insisted on an essential principle: work harder on yourself than you do on your job. This message, though simple, carries a depth that few fully grasp. Many people obsess over improving their technical skills, learning everything they can about their jobs and areas of expertise. But Rohn taught us that true progress lies in something much deeper: working on personal development. Imagine you're a carpenter who has mastered the craft. You're incredibly skilled, but if you don't work on your ability to communicate, lead your own business, or maintain a positive mental focus, that technical skill won't take you as far as you'd like. On the other hand, if you dedicate time to learning how to manage your emotions better, cultivating a growth mindset, practicing discipline, and strengthening your interpersonal relationships, your opportunities for success will grow exponentially. The answer is simple. The person you are determines the kind of success you achieve. No matter how good you are at your job or in a specific skill, if you lack the necessary character, emotional intelligence, or resilience in the face of challenges, excelling will be very difficult. Rohn used an interesting analogy. If you're working to be the best carpenter but not working to be the best version of yourself, you'll only be an ordinary carpenter, even if your technical skills are exceptional. This doesn't mean you should neglect your professional skills. In fact, improving your work and staying updated is important. But Rohn reminded us that the first step toward lasting success is improving who you are as a person. The foundation of any success lies in how you manage your life, your thoughts, and your attitude. As he often said, success is not something you pursue, it's something you attract by the person you become. The key is self-awareness. Before you can improve any area of your life, you must truly know yourself, your strengths, weaknesses, fears, and aspirations. Many people fail to achieve their goals simply because they don't understand themselves or aren't aware of the factors affecting their performance. This self-awareness allows you to identify areas for improvement, create a plan to overcome them, and start working on yourself. Suppose you have an important goal: losing weight. If you only focus on weight loss techniques, like exercise or diet, you likely won't see lasting results. The key lies in self-discipline, a crucial part of personal work. Learning to say no to cravings, staying consistent with your workout routine, avoiding excuses, and keeping your focus on the goal is what truly makes the difference. This isn't just about eating right or exercising, it's about developing the right mindset to achieve any goal in life. If you don't work on your self-discipline, no system or technique will be enough. Rohn always said, failure is not an event, it's an attitude. If you get used to negative habits and give in to temptations, success will become much harder to attain. Therefore, working on yourself also means learning to control your emotions and your time. Often, emotions like fear, doubt, and frustration paralyze us, but successful people learn to manage them. Fear of failure, for example, is a common emotion that can prevent you from taking risks that could lead to great achievements. However, if you work on your mindset and learn to see failure as a lesson rather than an obstacle, you'll begin making significant progress toward your goals. Now that we've established the importance of working on yourself, one of the most essential aspects of this process is cultivating a growth mindset. In this regard, Jim Rohn constantly emphasized that your attitude is everything. A positive attitude is the foundation upon which you can build everything else. It's what keeps you going when things get tough, what helps you learn from every failure, and what allows you to see every challenge as an opportunity. A growth mindset is the belief that you can always improve through effort, dedication, and perseverance. This mindset not only drives you to keep learning but also helps you see problems as a natural part of the learning process. People with this mindset don't give up easily and are willing to take on challenges because they understand that real growth happens outside their comfort zone. Rohn explained that success doesn't depend on external circumstances but on how we respond to them. Successful people are those who maintain a positive attitude, even in adversity. When faced with a challenge, instead of sinking into despair, they look for a solution. This is what separates successful people from those who aren't: the attitude with which they approach life. Consider the case of Thomas Edison, a classic example of a growth mindset. Throughout his life, Edison experienced thousands of failures before finally inventing the light bulb. Yet, he never saw those failures as defeats, only as opportunities to learn. When asked about his repeated failures in creating the light bulb, he replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset kept him persevering until he found the right solution. Similarly, Rohn urged us to recognize the importance of persistence. In his own life, Rohn faced personal and professional challenges. Yet, he never let those obstacles discourage him. Instead of giving up, he chose to learn from every experience and keep moving forward. Rohn understood that as we progress, our attitude toward difficulties can change our trajectory. When working on yourself, it's not just about improving your attitude or developing self-discipline, but also about learning to manage your time effectively. Time is one of our most valuable resources, and many people don't realize how quickly it slips away. If you're not intentional about how you use your time, you'll inevitably waste it, and with it, the opportunities that could have led to success. Jim Rohn used to say, "Time is the most valuable thing you have, because once it's gone, you can't get it back." While many people spend hours on activities that add no value to their lives, like mindless TV watching or procrastination, those who work on personal development learn to prioritize what truly matters. This includes dedicating time to continuous learning, investing in valuable relationships, and ensuring your daily activities align with your long-term goals. Time, like money, is a resource that must be wisely managed. If you have big goals but aren't conscious of how you spend your time, you'll be surprised at how slowly you progress. People often complain they don't have enough time to work on themselves, but the truth is we all have the same 24 hours each day. The difference lies in how we use them. For example, imagine your goal is to read 12 books a year to expand your knowledge. If you dedicate just 30 minutes a day to reading, you'll exceed your goal in less than a year. However, if you instead get caught up in television, social media, or unimportant activities, that same time will disappear without you noticing, and the year will pass without you achieving your goals. Success isn't about luck, it's about daily habits. The key is having the discipline to structure your day effectively. This means identifying what distracts you from your objectives and taking steps to avoid those distractions. It may be difficult at first, especially if you have ingrained procrastination habits, but what matters is starting. Simply implementing small daily actions can create significant change over time. Another way to work on yourself is to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. Rohn frequently mentioned, gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions for transforming your life. Often, life presents challenges, and it's easy to fall into the mindset that everything is difficult or not going as expected. However, shifting your perspective to gratitude can radically change your life experience. Instead of focusing on what you lack, begin appreciating what you've already accomplished and what surrounds you. Gratitude doesn't just change your attitude, it also positively impacts your mental and emotional health. Practicing gratitude helps you stay focused on the positive, even when things don't go as planned. As you develop this habit, you'll notice opportunities beginning to appear in your life, as you become more aware of your blessings and the lessons you can learn from every experience, good or bad. In life, we all face difficulties. However, successful people are those who know how to learn from tough times. Failure is a natural part of the growth process. It doesn't mean you've permanently failed, but rather that you've discovered a valuable lesson that will help you improve next time. Rohn said that failures are simply the experiences you need to find success. Often, the most successful people are those who have failed the most times, but learned from each of those failures. When working on yourself, it's vital to understand that personal growth isn't linear. There will be good days and bad days. Sometimes you'll progress faster than expected, while other times you may feel you've regressed. However, consistent progress is what matters. If you keep working on yourself, one day you'll look back and realize how much you've achieved. In this process, it's also crucial to surround yourself with the right people. Rohn often said that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The relationships you cultivate significantly influence your personal development. If you surround yourself with people who push you to improve, who support and challenge you, your growth will be much faster. Conversely, if you surround yourself with negative or unmotivated people, they'll likely hold you back. The people you associate with directly reflect your beliefs and attitudes. If you want to elevate your life, you need to surround yourself with people who share your values and goals. Doing this will improve not just your professional life, but your personal life as well. Relationships are integral to success, and personal work includes learning to build relationships that contribute to your growth. One of Jim Rohn's most important lessons is that success isn't just about achieving your goals, but about who you become in the process. Rohn said that true success is measured by the quality of person you are, not just by what you accomplish. When you work on yourself, you become a better person in every way. More disciplined, more grateful, more positive, more emotionally aware, and more capable of facing life's challenges. This self-work is what enables you to reach levels of success beyond what you could have imagined. It's not just about getting what you want, but becoming someone who can successfully handle the opportunities life gives you. This is the true power of working on yourself, transforming your life and future through personal development. As we progress in the process of working on ourselves, it's crucial to understand that real change occurs when we confront our limitations and choose to overcome them. This is one of the fundamental aspects of personal growth, stepping out of our comfort zone. Jim Rohn put it clearly when he said, "You can't expect extraordinary changes in your life if you keep doing the same things." It's easy to fall into daily routines where everything seems predictable and safe, but life never changes in the comfort zone. To achieve success, we must be willing to face fear, uncertainty, and discomfort. Resisting change is natural, but it's important to remember that growth only happens when we push ourselves beyond what we know. Take elite athletes as an example. They train beyond their limits every day to surpass their own records. They don't feel comfortable in the process, but they understand that pain and discomfort are necessary to reach higher levels. The same applies to personal and professional life. If you want something greater, you must be willing to implement habits and actions that challenge you. Stepping out of your comfort zone also means learning to handle uncertainty. Many people avoid change because they fear the unknown. However, uncertainty is a constant in life, and success doesn't come without some degree of risk. Consider successful entrepreneurs. In their early years, they had to make difficult decisions without knowing if they would succeed, but they took the risk. Each risk they took provided valuable lessons that helped them improve their strategies, approaches, and ultimately achieve their goals. Uncertainty shouldn't be viewed as negative. In fact, it's an opportunity for growth. By learning to embrace it, you become more resilient and adaptable to change. Life is unpredictable, and when you face uncertainty with a positive mindset, you can use it as a springboard to new achievements. Rohn always emphasized that life will give you what you ask for, but you must be willing to pay the price. This price isn't always monetary. Sometimes it's about effort, sacrifice, and most importantly, the courage to keep going when things don't go as planned. Furthermore, the process of working on yourself involves continuous self-examination. Ask yourself, what areas of my life need improvement? This self-assessment should be a daily practice. If you want to achieve success, you can't afford to overlook your weaknesses. Instead, you must be honest with yourself about your limitations and actively work to correct them. Constructive self-criticism is a powerful tool in personal development, but it must be balanced with self-compassion. No one is perfect, and acknowledging your imperfections doesn't make you weak, it makes you stronger. An example of this self-examination is people who want to improve their health. If someone wants to lose weight, they must start by examining their eating habits, physical activity level, and sleep patterns. It's not about blaming yourself for past bad decisions, but taking responsibility for your present well-being. The first step toward change is recognizing that you have the capacity to improve. And just like in business, continuous improvement is essential. Success doesn't come all at once, but through small adjustments and improvements in the decisions you make every day. An important aspect of this journey of self-discovery is learning to manage your mindset. Jim Rohn used to say that success is the result of good attitude. Your mindset determines how you face challenges, perceive opportunities, and relate to others. If your mindset is focused on fear, doubt, and negativity, progress will be much harder. Instead, if you work on developing a positive and resilient mindset, you'll be able to see every obstacle as an opportunity to grow. Imagine facing a significant challenge, like a big project or a difficult personal goal. With a positive mindset, you'll see that challenge as an opportunity to learn and improve. With a negative mindset, you'll feel defeated before even starting. Mindset is the engine that drives all our actions. To succeed, you must ensure your mindset aligns with the goals you want to achieve. Persistence is another essential ingredient in the process of working on yourself. Success isn't immediate. It often takes time and effort to see results. During this time, it's common to face obstacles, doubts, and frustrations. However, successful people are those who persist despite difficulties. Rohn expressed it perfectly when he said, The difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful one isn't intelligence, but persistence. Successful people aren't smarter or luckier. They've simply decided not to give up, even when things get tough. We see examples of persistence in historical figures who faced extraordinary adversity before achieving success. Thomas Edison, for instance, failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Had he stopped trying, he never would have made his great discovery. This kind of persistence is what separates dreamers from doers. If you work on your ability to persist and don't give up easily, the doors to success will eventually open. To work on yourself, it's also important to cultivate patience. In a world where everything seems to happen quickly, it can be hard to accept that some things take time. Patience allows you to stay calm and keep moving forward, even when results aren't immediate. Long-term success requires a combination of patience, consistent effort, and a positive mindset. If you can maintain these qualities throughout your journey, you'll be on the right path to success. One of the key aspects of continuing to progress in your self-development journey is learning to handle failure effectively. Failure is an inevitable part of any success journey, and often it's what separates those who give up from those who keep fighting for their dreams. Jim Rohn said, "Don't worry about failure, you only have to succeed once." This perspective is vital because it teaches us to see failure not as an insurmountable obstacle, but as an invaluable lesson. Every time we fail, we get an opportunity to learn something new about ourselves and our capabilities. Failure shows us what doesn't work, pushes us to adjust our strategies, and most importantly, gives us the motivation to move forward with greater wisdom. If you never fail, you're probably not pushing your limits enough. The real failure is not trying in the first place. Take famous figures like Walt Disney as an example. Before creating the empire we know today, Disney was fired from a newspaper for lack of imagination and faced several failures in his early business attempts. Instead of giving up, he got back up again and again, learning from each mistake. Eventually, his failures became the foundation of his success. The lesson here is clear. Failure isn't the end of the road, but a stepping stone to success. Failure also forces us to reevaluate our expectations. We often get discouraged when things don't go as planned, but it's important to remember that long-term success is rarely a straight line. There will be ups and downs, moments of doubt, and times when things don't work out as expected. What matters is how we respond to those difficult moments. Resilience, the ability to get back up after each fall, is a skill that strengthens over time, but only if we're willing to face failure with a positive and constructive attitude. One way to cultivate resilience is by developing a growth mindset. This mindset is based on the belief that our abilities and talents aren't fixed, but can be improved through effort and dedication. When we adopt this mindset, failure stops being a reflection of our inability and becomes an opportunity to improve and grow. As Rohn said, "You don't become what you wish for, you become what you work toward." The key lies in continuous effort and the willingness to learn from failures. Besides resilience, it's also crucial to surround ourselves with supportive people on our journey. Jim Rohn was known for saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This principle highlights the importance of the relationships we cultivate. If you spend time with people who motivate you, challenge you, and push you to be better, you're more likely to achieve your goals. Conversely, if you're surrounded by people who discourage you or keep you stagnant, your progress will be limited. The people you surround yourself with significantly impact your mindset and results. Positive relationships provide the emotional support you need when facing challenges, while negative people can drain your energy and divert your focus. Seek to surround yourself with people who share your values and ambitions, and who help keep you focused on your personal growth. Additionally, learning from those who have walked a similar path can offer valuable lessons and shortcuts in your own journey to success. Working on yourself also involves learning to manage your emotions. Emotions are powerful and can sometimes cloud our judgment or divert our attention from what truly matters. However, having control over our emotions is essential for making sound decisions and staying focused on our goals. Emotional intelligence is a key skill we must cultivate to handle stress, anxiety, and daily frustrations. Emotional intelligence not only helps us control our emotions but also improves our ability to relate to others. By becoming aware of our own emotions and those of others, we can improve our social interactions, make more informed decisions, and build healthier relationships. This kind of self-awareness is essential in the personal development process, as it allows us to handle difficulties with greater maturity and resilience. Beyond managing our emotions, it's essential to develop a clear vision of what we want to achieve in life. Without a clear vision, it's easy to get lost in daily distractions and challenges. Vision acts as a lighthouse guiding us toward our goals, helping us stay focused on what truly matters. Jim Rohn firmly believed that, without vision, people perish. Vision gives you direction and purpose, two essential elements for staying motivated and making progress in your personal growth. With a clear vision, you not only know what you want but also understand why you want it. This sense of purpose will drive you when things get tough, giving you the strength to keep going even when facing obstacles. Vision also enables you to make wiser decisions, as you can evaluate each option based on whether it moves you closer to or further from your goals. Finally, one of the most important aspects of personal development is consistency. It's not about making sporadic grand efforts, but about making small efforts every day. Consistency is what produces long-term results. As Rohn said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Daily discipline and consistency are what truly make the difference between those who achieve their goals and those who quit before reaching the finish line. As we continue working on ourselves, it's crucial to recognize the relationship between personal growth and daily action. It's easy to feel like we're making progress when we read books, attend seminars, and seek inspiration, but true transformation only occurs when we take action. Jim Rohn constantly reminds us that life isn't about what happens to you, but about what you do with what happens to you. Daily actions are what truly define the path to success. While reflection and learning are important, implementation is the essential ingredient for turning our goals into reality. Many people get stuck in theory and analysis, waiting for the perfect moment to act. However, the perfect moment rarely arrives. It's far more likely to come only after we've taken that first step, when we commit to working even when conditions aren't ideal. Action, even in its smallest form, is an act of faith in ourselves. It helps us overcome fear and doubt, moving us one step closer to our goals. Small daily decisions compound over time to create significant results. Every small step we take toward our objectives is a rung on the ladder to success. Often, we underestimate the power of these seemingly minor choices. Daily decisions, like waking up early, being punctual, learning something new, or staying focused, gradually lead us down the path to achievement. The key is consistency, even when results aren't immediate. Consider habit formation as an example. If you want to become more productive, you don't need radical changes, just small adjustments. You might start with a simple daily action of writing a to-do list every morning. At first, this might seem trivial, but over time, this habit becomes a powerful tool for improving organization and efficiency. When cultivated consistently, habits become one of the most powerful tools for success in any area of life. The principle of daily action also applies to decision-making. Instead of waiting for perfection, we should act and then adjust as needed. Sometimes, the best way to learn is through experience. Every decision, even those that don't turn out as expected, offers valuable lessons. The more we commit to making decisions, the more we develop our ability to make better choices in the future. This cycle of action and adjustment is fundamental to personal growth. Fear is another barrier that often prevents us from taking action. The fear of failure or making mistakes can paralyze us. But Jim Rohn had a unique perspective on fear. The surest way to fail is not to try. The best way to overcome fear is to face it head-on. Action is the antidote to fear. When we take firm steps toward our goals, fear diminishes because we realize we're capable of handling whatever challenges arise. Fear usually isn't based on reality but on our perceptions and assumptions. Through action, we discover that many of our fears weren't as terrifying as we imagined. As we move forward, we gain confidence and realize we're more resilient than we thought. Every small act of courage strengthens us and prepares us for greater challenges ahead. Personal growth also requires stepping out of our comfort zone. Real growth happens when we challenge ourselves to do uncomfortable things. Successful people don't stagnate in what's familiar. They continuously seek ways to improve and expand their horizons. Every time we venture beyond our comfort zone, we learn something new, adapt to new situations, and become more capable individuals. This process of leaving our comfort zone directly strengthens our self-confidence. As we face and overcome new challenges, we prove to ourselves that we can handle difficult situations. Rather than seeing fear as something to avoid, we recognize it as a sign that we're growing. Fear becomes an indicator of progress, not regression. Self-discipline is another critical component of this process. Without discipline, action becomes erratic, and goals become harder to reach. Self-discipline is what keeps you working toward your objectives even when you don't feel like it. As Jim Rohn said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Discipline not only keeps you on track, but also helps you make decisions that bring you closer to your aspirations. Like any skill, self-discipline improves with practice. At first, maintaining discipline may be challenging, but over time, it becomes second nature. Start with small commitments. Promise yourself to do something daily, even when you're not motivated. It could be as simple as reading 10 pages of a book, exercising for 20 minutes, or planning your day. These small acts of discipline add up and eventually become habits that propel you toward your goals. Finally, remember that personal growth isn't an isolated process. While it's deeply personal, it also involves the people around us. As mentioned earlier, our relationships reflect our mindset. When we surround ourselves with others committed to their own growth, they inspire us to keep moving forward and improving. This cycle of action, challenge, discipline, and growth leads to a more fulfilling and successful life. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent actions and smart decisions over time. As Jim Rohn wisely put it, success is something you attract by the person you become. When you become a disciplined, focused, and persistent individual, you naturally attract success. As we continue our personal growth journey, it's essential to understand that it's not just about achieving material or external goals, but also about attaining lasting emotional and mental well-being. Jim Rohn frequently spoke about the importance of nurturing our minds and emotions, and how this inner work truly determines long-term success. However, many people focus so much on external achievements that they forget the importance of caring for their mental and emotional health. It's crucial to learn how to balance hard work with inner peace. When working on yourself, you should consider your mind as a garden that needs careful cultivation. If you plant negative thoughts, doubts, or fears, they will grow and dominate your life. But if you cultivate positive thoughts, hopes, and aspirations, those are the fruits you will harvest. The key lies in what you choose to think, what you choose to feed your mind. Jim Rohn used to say, "Your life is a reflection of your thoughts." If your thoughts are negative or limiting, your life will reflect those same limitations. But if your thoughts are expansive and positive, your life will be too. Working on the mind is just as important as working on the body. If we don't exercise our minds regularly, we'll soon fall into discouragement and confusion. Reading books, listening to educational podcasts, and reflecting on what we learn are practices that help keep our minds active and open. Knowledge is a powerful tool, but only when we apply it in our daily lives. The simple act of learning something new each day can have a tremendous impact on our mindset and our ability to overcome obstacles. Moreover, emotional balance plays a key role in our ability to face life with resilience. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by difficulties, but learning to manage our emotions and maintain a positive attitude, even in tough times, is an essential skill for anyone who wants to succeed. Jim Rohn also emphasized the importance of controlling our reactions to challenges. Instead of letting difficulties defeat us, we must learn to see them as opportunities for growth. True success doesn't come from avoiding adversity but from how we face it. A fundamental aspect of inner work is learning to manage our expectations. Often, we become disappointed because our expectations are too high or unrealistic. While it's important to have big dreams and aspirations, it's equally essential to be realistic about the process. Progress takes time, and we won't always see immediate results. It's important to maintain patience and perseverance along the way, recognizing that even small advances are equally valuable. Additionally, we must learn to surround ourselves with people who foster our emotional and mental growth. The relationships we maintain have a significant impact on our lives. If we're surrounded by negative or toxic people, it will be much harder to maintain a positive mindset. Jim Rohn stated, "You are the average of the 5 people you associate with most." If you surround yourself with people who are committed to their own growth and success, they will inspire you to do the same. The quality of your relationships directly influences your success. Another essential aspect of emotional health is self-care. Often, people focus so much on working toward external goals that they neglect their personal well-being. Self-care isn't just about resting or exercising, it's also about ensuring you're mentally and emotionally nourished. Taking time to relax, reflect, and reconnect with yourself is as important as any other action in your daily life. Balance is the key to avoiding burnout and maintaining a strong mindset. Beyond caring for yourself, it's also essential to practice gratitude. Gratitude transforms our perspective and helps us focus on the positive. Jim Rohn advised practicing gratitude regularly, as this simple act can change our outlook on life. If we focus on what we have and what we've achieved, rather than what we lack, our attitude toward life shifts. Gratitude helps keep us motivated and reminds us of the blessings already present in our lives, no matter what challenges we face. An effective exercise is to write down 3 things you're grateful for every day. This not only shifts your focus but also reminds you that there's always something positive in your life, even when everything seems difficult. Gratitude not only improves our mindset but also attracts more good things into our lives because we begin to focus on what's working and what's going well. Life won't always be easy, but if we consistently work on our mindset, emotions, and well-being, we can face any challenge with greater strength. Working on yourself isn't just about achieving material goals, it's also about cultivating an emotionally and mentally healthy life. As we become the best version of ourselves, we not only grow as individuals but also positively impact those around us. Our inner well-being is reflected in our external actions and relationships, allowing us to live a more fulfilling and satisfying life. Upon reaching the end of this journey toward personal growth, it is crucial to reflect on the importance of perseverance and dedication in the process. It's not just about how we start, but how we stand firm when challenges arise. Jim Rohn always emphasized that success is not a destination, but a continuous journey. In fact, most of the work doesn't happen when things are going well, but when we face adversity. This is the moment when we truly demonstrate our character and determination. Life is full of ups and downs, but what truly defines us is our ability to keep moving forward, even when things don't go as planned. It's easy to feel discouraged or defeated when circumstances are tough, but those are the moments when we most need to remember that the real work lies not just in the goal, but in the process. Every day we dedicate to improving, learning, and growing is another step toward the person we are destined to become. A key concept Jim Rohn taught throughout his life is the idea that our daily actions lead us to success. We don't need to take giant leaps or make drastic changes overnight. What matters is taking small, consistent steps, day after day. If you commit to improving just a little each day, over time, those small advances will add up to great achievements. This gradual and steady approach creates sustained progress that, in time, yields extraordinary results. It's easy to fall into the trap of wanting quick results, but patience is essential for true success. Most people give up too soon because they don't see immediate outcomes. But lasting, meaningful change happens when we persevere, when we keep the long-term vision in mind and stay focused on our development, no matter what obstacles arise. The real secret to success lies in patience and consistency. As Jim Rohn said, success is the result of the small actions you take every day. Another important lesson is the need for flexibility. While we focus on working on ourselves and reaching our goals, we must remember that the path won't always be straight. There will be twists, detours, and even setbacks. However, flexibility is key to adapting to these changes and staying on the right track. Sometimes, we need to adjust our strategies, shift our focus, or take a pause to reflect. Flexibility doesn't mean giving up. It means being wise enough to recognize when a change is necessary and adapting effectively. It's also important to learn how to handle criticism and failure. On the journey toward personal success, we won't always be understood or supported by everyone. Criticism can be painful, but it's a natural part of the growth process. Instead of letting it discourage us, we can use constructive feedback to improve and learn from our mistakes. Jim Rohn reminds us, it's not what happens to you that counts, but what you do with what happens to you. Rather than seeing failures as obstacles, we should view them as opportunities to learn and grow. In this journey of self-improvement, we must also remember the importance of gratitude. Gratitude not only improves our mental well-being but also shifts our perspective on life. Practicing gratitude, even in tough times, helps us maintain a positive mindset and stay focused on what truly matters. Jim Rohn strongly believed that gratitude is an essential component of success. Through gratitude, we attract more good into our lives and stay focused on what we've accomplished, rather than what we lack. In the end, working on yourself is an endless journey, but what truly makes the difference is the commitment you make to yourself. This is the time to stop waiting for circumstances to change and to take action. As Jim Rohn said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems, wish for more skills." Success isn't reserved for a select few. It's for those willing to work on themselves every day, learn from their mistakes, and keep going no matter the challenges. If you remain committed to your personal growth, you won't just improve as an individual, you'll also inspire others to do the same. Remember, change begins within you. As you work on your mind, body, and emotions, your life will reflect that effort. You'll become stronger, wiser, and more capable of facing any challenge that comes your way. Never underestimate the power of your own growth. Every step you take toward the best version of yourself brings you closer to a richer, more fulfilling life. In conclusion, working on yourself is the most valuable investment you can make. It's the key to a fulfilling, satisfying, and successful life. Following Jim Rohn's advice, always remember that true success doesn't come from external achievements, but from what you're able to accomplish internally. Success begins with the work you do on your mind, heart, and spirit. So start today. Dedicate time to your personal growth, because it's the only thing that will lead you to a life of lasting fulfillment and achievement.